on the tee, we've got Addison, the Tank, Collins.
And Addison Collins was first to tee. He's found himself OB on the left side, left of the sidewalk.
Third on the team representing Discmania, we've got Eagle, Keep on Dreaming, McMahon.
Eagle McMahon third to tee.
Rounding out our card, representing Latitude 64 and the 2016 World Champion, Ricky Socky-Bomb Wysocki.
And Ricky Wysocki, your current world champion, on the tee here on hole number 7. Heart job by Wysocki to open the round. Earlier today, we had our featured card of women. Let's see what they did on their opening hole of the tournament. McMahon easily in for birdie in the OB. Addison starting with a bogey 4, and Ricky Wysocki starting with a 3-foot putt for birdie. Quick and easy on our first hole of the event. We're moving on to the second hole in just a few moments.
I nailed that tree. You're fine.
Not many chains required. Bottom right corner pocket. Right, Simon?
Good enough.
Good enough. And after a little bit of a shaky start here, Addison said after his last approach shot, he said, all right, let's go. I think he's calmed his nerves and he's ready to go. And Eagle will tap in. We've got a brief walk over to our third hole. We'll be back with you in just a few moments right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And Lizotte opts for the high, wide right hyzer and sticks the landing. Wysocki taking the same route, however, he's just a bit on the right side. This 294-foot par 3. And a nice shot by Eagle McMahon. The lefty Addison is up to tee fourth. And going up the center, but getting a wide skip left is Addison. We saw the women compete here on the third hole of the day. Let's check in with them now as we move down the fairway of hole number 9. Ricky puts in. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm tired, but I'm doing very well.
You've been very busy. I know you're a jack of all trades, putting on a lot of different hats and performing a lot of different tasks out here. We're here. It's finally the last card of the day, and Addison is in, and I think we're going to see you guys on the next hole. We'll get more from you in just a moment.
Thanks.
Lizotte first to tee here on the very wooded hole number 10. Ricky with a favorable kick into the left center fairway. And Eagle McMahon coming all the way down the center of the fairway, getting to just about the prime landing zone. This hole will prove a little bit more difficult for the lefty, although Addison seems to have a great looking forehand, and that comes in nicely and finds himself and Ricky catches the tree on the right side. Looked like he had very good velocity and movement on it, however, squared up right with that tree.
Yeah.
Interesting approach. See the lefty forehand roller here. Simon joking about a I don't even know if I could call that a local route. That'd be silly.
Ricky with the forehand up to the basket. That should be good. Oh, and he's parked.
McMahon yet to throw his second shot.
Oh, that got a little wide. They're still looking to putt in there. He got a little caught up on his way in. He's still going to have a, looks like a just inside the second circle putt. And a great shot up by Addison. He's going to have an easy putt from there.
And solid right chain from 48 feet. And even after a little tickle of the low-hanging branches, Wysocki finds the chains. And McMahon also from the same distance, just a few steps outside of the circle one. And the group will tap in. We've got a brief walk over to another par 3 in just a few moments. We'll be back right here at the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Ooh, that was a bit of a yank on that one. Luckily kicked out. He should have still got a good look at an upshot from there, but probably not a 2. That looks beautiful.
Very nice.
And just buzzing past the basket is Eagle McMahon's drive here on hole number 11.
And Addison flipping a buzz up the gut. He's going to be a little bit right, but he's going to be in the circle up there.
And Lizotte seems to be hyzering out, hoping for the right kick. We're going to move up hole number 11. Let's see what the feature card from the women did earlier today.
Okay.
Great putt by Eagle McMahon. That's going to be for birdie 2. Gave the autograph, however, not the right time to be doing it as someone's trying to save their power on short par 3. Left but in for Addison. That might get him on the train. And Eagle McMahon opts for the up and over thumber. And it looks like he's going to be left just inside circle 2. The natural backhand lefty hyzer here for Addison. Patented forehand shot here by Wysocki. That looks to be a great line coming down. Just skips past the basket on the edge of the circle. And a misfire here by Lizotte. He's short and left. And Simon Lizotte from way outside circle 2. That had to be close to 85, maybe 90 feet. And a much loftier attempt there by Eagle McMahon. Addison with the birdie as we hear an ice cream truck coming by. These guys are worried about birdies. I've got other things on my mind. Pair of pars and a pair of birdies. We're moving on to the next hole. We'll be back in a few moments. Feet. And first to throw was Addison with a great flip up turnover. Second to throw will be Simon Lizotte.
Yeah, this hole offers some eagle opportunities to the big arms, and I hope we get a good look at that today. Well, that was a little tight, but he's out in the open, and he'll have an easy up shot from there. This would be an easy 3 for him. Just to lay up out to the open. If they really want to attack the basket, the shot's a hyzer flip up, and they can get down to the ravine and have a look at a long putt for 2.
And after being out in the open, Lizotte has a turnover there. He's going to be short. It's not really an up and down for birdie from there.
It's one of my favorites personally.
Well, it must be a great hole if it's withstood the test of time here. And Ricky going right over the basket. And this gives Eagle a chance to be somewhat aggressive. He comes up right of the pin by just a few feet. And drawing metal again, his had the same height as the basket. And a death putt here by Wysocki, still very firm, right side and in. As the wind picks up, Addison's lefty putt is in. Eagle will tap out, and we're going to move on to the next hole. Feel the wind picking up. We're heading right back into the woods. We'll be back with you in a few moments right here from Waco, Texas, and the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Cameron, I got to admit, I never thought I'd see a 200-foot hole, 213-foot hole in Texas. What happened?
We work with what we've got here. It's still a pretty challenging fairway. You know, left and right, there's a slope behind the basket. This is a tough one to navigate.
And with a standstill approach, Simon goes just past the basket. Ricky Wysocki's third to tee. Wysocki with a overstable forehand, and just to be very clear, I'm a big fan of the 213 footers. Plenty of obstacles here for Simon. And a left short for Simon. We've got the women from here on hole 14. We'll be back in a moment.
That's a good little skip down the hill. We're going to see how much that rolled, but he may be looking at a circle's edge putt from there. Just caught on a branch. He's going to be about 12 feet out there, but and he's going to miss that one too.
And a heartbreaker there as Addison's putt looked to be in. I was just about to count it. Time stood still for a moment, and then it just leaked out the left side. Very quick to putt is Eagle McMahon, certainly frustrated that finding himself within 30 feet of the pin, however not able to take the birdie. And this hole playing much tougher. In fact, 0 birdies on this 213-foot hole. Not what you would have expected. We're moving on. We'll be back in a few moments from Waco, Texas. As many of you have experienced it, when you're playing at any kind of local tournament, you know that sometimes after a 5 to 10 or 12-minute backup, you may be a little bit tightened up or... Oh, and we're seeing Ricky's shot come in and coming straight toward us. Looked like the weight didn't affect Ricky too much, but it might carry out my thought there. I was saying that sometimes you cool down a little bit, and then you have to walk up to a very tight, narrow fairway. Looks like Ricky didn't have any problems there.
Yeah, this hole has a pretty low ceiling off the tee box, and it's difficult to get a long shot and still keep it low on this hole, especially with the elevation change. It creates a pretty narrow window. Ooh, looked like he let go of that one a little bit late out of his hand, but it came back out to the fairway.
Unless he's going to put this on more angle than I realized. It looks like it's going to come out as a roller, but we know he's got a few trick shots in his bag as well. Oh, it looks like it is an air shot. Kicks off the left side and back into the center of the fairway. That's about as good of a kick as he could have hoped for there.
Yeah, that's not a bad position to be. He could still have a look at a 4 from there if he could get around. There's some sky shots from there too.
Lizotte with a forehand coming in. And we're trying to get out of the way here as Addison's forehand roller catches the same set of trees, however, at the stump.
Yep, that looks like it's going there. There's a few holes over the trees, but you have to be in just the right position. It looks like Eagle found it. And he's getting some claps from the gallery. Very nice.
And Wysocki's forehand hits the left side of the fairway, kicks down into the right.
And that looked like it's coming in nicely. I think it's panning out maybe a little bit early. He might find himself on the left side of the basket fairway down there.
And Ricky has to opt for the left.
There you go.
And a applause from the gallery. Solid putt by Lizotte. Wysocki with 15 feet. And I think all competitors are more than excited to be done here with this par 5, hole number 15. And Addison is in. We'll be back with you in a few moments from hole 16 right here at the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And welcome back, as we were just seeing Ricky Wysocki throw his tee shot. I believe we are here on course hole number 16. Just a few left in the woods. What are they looking at here on hole number 16?
keeping it in the middle. It's not too bad if you turn it over a little bit, but what we do not want to do is what's happening right there, hyzering out. That right side is bad. It is one throw out at least. It might be two. You can't do anything from in there. Looks like he just threw a stroke away.
So fairway is certainly key here on hole number 16. This is a little bit more open than what we've seen on the previous few holes. However, you still want to make sure you find the short grass here in the fairway. This is Eagle McMahon, and that was not his best effort.
No, a little high off the tee. He's got a, what's that, about a 450-foot look. He's got the arm to get there, but he's got a few trees to navigate on the way.
And Addison shot is low, maybe a little self-correction from what he just saw from McMahon. We'll be back in a few moments. We've got coverage from the women from earlier today. Addison lining up a forehand. And after a little bit of cabbage here on the right side of the fairway, he actually rolls right over Eagle McMahon's disc. And Ricky with a little too much angle, that's going to cut roll on him. Long running jump putt. And Wysocki from 72 feet with a slight turnover spin putt.
Looks like got right side chains there.
And a solid putt there by Eagle McMahon. And barely sneaking in there is Lizotte. Addison will then clean up from inside 10 feet. And we're going to move on to what will be hole 17 here at the Beast. We'll be back with you in a few moments right here from Waco, Texas, the Waco Annual Charity Open. And hole number 17, 279 feet.
That's high. We just need that to come back a little bit, and looks like he, oh yeah, gonna be in the circle up there. Looks like he's hugging the right side of the fairway and got caught up a little bit. Beautiful. It looks right up the middle. It's going to scoot up that hill. Fantastic shot, Addison. Very nice.
Let's see what the women did here on the par 3, 279 foot, hole 17. Somewhat of a forehand shot. Not sure he's got quite the position here. He may go to one knee. Very obstructed view here off to the left side of the pin. And a little dance on the left side of those chains. And Eagle second guessing his grip or possibly his release. And a flustered Eagle McMahon will put in for his 3. Addison looking at a birdie opportunity. And the hometown crowd approves. We're moving on to hole number 18 in just a few moments.
Really, the forehand is the best shot for this hole. You get the furthest down the fairway, and just the angle of the hole really favors it. So I'm surprised as well. Oh my goodness.
And Ricky going way up and over. We're going to do our best to track that. That's hit on the right side, and it stays up and high right if you're looking down the fairway. Certainly unconventional, I can tell by your response, but did that have a chance?
So I think that he was trying to clear the mando trees to get out to that field that we were talking about out there. That's kind of what it looked like, because that was way too high to try and be advancing the fairway down there.
There is a mandatory tree almost immediately off of the tee here. And we see a nice, gentle lefty shot here by Addison. This sets up really nicely for him. The approach shot should also set up nicely for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Another lefty hyzer ought to be what he's doing. An eagle with the more traditional flick on this hole. He'll get a good skip and stay out in the middle. I'm really surprised by that shot by Ricky.
And we see Eagle McMahon, center of the fairway, about as good of a shot as you could throw off the tee here. Simon Lizotte going with a gentle turn. I believe that's his MD3. And a forehand, overhand, I should say, coming out by Wysocki, which is going to place him right into the center of the fairway. And Addison is going to move just a few feet down the fairway. He connected with a tree directly in front of him. And the forehand roller we've seen before seems to work. That's going to put him up and over the hillside.
He got a good kick at the end. There was a little bit high, and he needed a little bit more turn out of it, but he's still going to have a good look at the basket. Maybe it's 80, 90 feet from there.
And Wysocki going for the small gap up in the sky. Not something I think many of us were anticipating.
Yeah, I didn't hear any details about that, but he did miss his tee time, and I believe, yes, after the fourth or so hole, somebody was able to get him to his correct hole and get him to play.
Pending one knee putt by Wysocki for approximately 40 feet. And a great run by Wysocki. That was left of the chains but had the perfect height. Very impressive. Eagle 3, how often do you see those out here?
I take that back. I've seen one. The very first time we came out and designed this course, we set a temporary basket. We played Wolf, and somebody got a 3, but it was a group effort. But personally, in person, I've never seen one before. I've just seen video of it. I'm very impressed.
And no surprise there by Eagle McMahon with his impressive efforts. Here's Addison to clean up. And we're going to have a lengthy walk here as we move off of 18 and over to hole number 1. You're watching first round coverage from right here in Waco, Texas. We'll be back in a few moments after a word from our sponsors.
And the Eagles laying a roller down, and it needs to stay left. It looks like it might be going a little bit right. And Simon with a nasty kick, but he's got the distance to get to the basket still from there. Ricky making a last-minute disc change to pull the roller out of the bag, and this is looking very nice. It just needs to hook up, and he is down there. Very nice.
Good throw, good throw.
Got Addison lining up the hyzer flip shot with a destroyer.
Yeah, the natural way, Addison.
And he clears the trees and makes it through with a crush.
And welcome back. We were seeing Simon Lizotte throw a forehand approach shot and coming in nicely just to the right of the pin. Looking for a clarification, I believe that eagle was in fact out of bounds. He is just outside the circle 2 indicator. Not a hole that you would necessarily anticipate it to, but looks like no one here got the bonus.
The length of it is just a little bit too long for people to really reach. There have been a couple of 2s, usually as throw-ins or super long putts, but it's kind of a tweener hole in my opinion. Looks like he threw that a little bit too wide. He's going to regret not getting a 2 on this hole with being such a shorty. And Ricky throwing it as wide as he needs to. He got a little skip and he is parked. Great shot. And Addison throwing a hyzer flip with a putter up the gut, and looked like he has some good carry. As you probably guessed, this triple mando is not a normal feature of this hole, and it's usually an easy hyzer on either side, and it's really forcing these guys to take some tighter lines.
And from circle 2's edge, drawing metal. Great. What would they need to do?
Yeah, so tonight we're going to be doing the Festival of the Discs at 7 p.m. here at Brazos Park this evening or tomorrow during the day, and take some selfies and bring me some receipts and win $100.
I like $100 as they clean up. We're moving on. We'll be back in a few moments. Hello everyone and welcome back. We are on hole number 3, measuring in at 558 feet. Road is OB on the left hand side, and of course over the fence on the right hand side is also OB. Ricky Wysocki is on the tee and ready to go. And the wind was pushing that down. What's going on out there?
It's pretty common to have a tailwind on this hole. If you get the right angles, it'll push it, but if you're not adjusting for it, it'll knock it out of there. Also, it plays a little bit uphill. It's hard to tell from the tee.
And Eagle McMahon is going to be teeing second. Again, sees that slight tailwind.
And there's a bomb. It looks like he's going to clear. Oh, it looks like he's right on the edge of the barrier right there.
And Simon Lizotte looked to be giving that full power, and the wind is just mashing that down. He gets a great skip, and the gallery likes it.
I think he's in between the two circles right there. That's pretty impressive.
The lefty has a little bit more room here on this left side. However, it looks like it's pushing right, and he should find himself inbounds. Well, what's going on in here? This looks to be some kind of an electrical area.
Yeah, it's basically just designed to keep people from running over the curb here and taking out the electrical fences, but we don't use it as OB or anything like that. It really just gets in the way just a little bit depending on your height and your shot.
And he was chasing that down. He thought he had a chance at it.
And Simon misses his putt.
And Wysocki is into the heart of the chains. Eagle looking for some cleanup. And with authority, punches in. Some fans, I think that was the disc golf boy, screaming in the background. And Addison will tap in. We got a brief walk. We'll be back in a few moments. You're watching the opening round here at the Waco Annual Charity Open presented by Wysocki, lining up a backhand roller. I think he's going to be ready to go here on hole number 4.
Yeah, I would imagine probably all of our righties are going to be throwing rollers on this hole, especially with the tailwind. It's the best way to get distance on that downhill shot. And that is way down there. Great shot, Ricky. And another roller. I don't know if he rolls his PD2s. I would need to do a DDX for that shot. And it looks like he might hit the bathroom, and he did. I don't think there's any OB sidewalk right there. He should be fine. Simon keeping it in the air. That's surprising. There's some sidewalk over there to the side where he just threw, but it looks like he's coming on the inside of it and crushed it. My goodness.
And a little later we'll check in with Nico LaCastro's post on Facebook with
Gave that a good run, and that's going to be an easy drop-in 3 on this hole. I'm excited to see where Simon's shot landed.
Eagle McMahon has come up short of the bathroom structure, and Ricky Wysocki is approximately 4 feet, maybe 5 feet behind the circle 2 indicator. Again, a little quick math at home will give you 71 feet. We'll call it that. See if Ricky can convert.
Not at all on this nearly, I think it's a 560-foot hole. It plays slightly downhill. It's not common at all. It's a throw-in when it happens, rarely a putt.
And we'll watch our players tap out as we move on. We just have 2 holes to play during the opening round. Stay tuned. You're watching live disc golf right here with the disc. And welcome back. Par 4, 640 feet. Ricky Wysocki on the tee.
Yeah, we added some teeth to this hole and moved the basket back and down about 200 feet onto a peninsula with water and OB surrounding, and Ricky's laid it up to about where the old basket was. It sets up for an easy forehand from there. There is an opportunity to throw over the rough and attack the basket for a birdie two, or an eagle two, but I think with this wind it's unlikely we're going to see that today.
Eagle McMahon getting the red flag. He is out of bounds, and he was out of bounds very early. He's got a lot of work to do here to complete this hole. Here comes Simon Lizotte up and over. And Lizotte's going to need that to sit down. The wind is pushing it hard. And that is OB.
And we have a cheating lefty here throwing just a nice easy lefty hyzer, and he is exactly where you want to be for an upshot. That was a great shot.
Taking advantage. Let's see what the women did here on hole number 5. How are things going out here today for you?
He just got a green flag, Terry.
And Lizotte is going out and around. And Wysocki's able to take this out over the OB water that's coming in toward the pin.
Looks like we've got a decent-sized gallery witnessing Addison's beautiful upshot. He's going to have a good look at a birdie 3 on this hole.
And Wysocki, not a problem here. And high but in for Eagle McMahon. Solid birdie there for Addison.
Yep, cheating lefties love this hole.
And Eagle is in. We've got a lengthy walk back up to our final hole of the day. We'll be back with hole 18. entering our opening round. And being able to take advantage of the lefty route, we see out and right in the center of the fairway.
Yeah, that's right. It's a little bit harder for him to attack the basket with his lefties. A little easier on the righties. I imagine we'll see Eagle and Simon go for it. Looks like Ricky's just playing up to the peninsula down there. Very nice.
And Lizotte trying to carry over the water, and he's done just that.
I think he wanted it to be a little bit more hyzer on that, but the wind really put a move on it.
And Eagle may have made a slight adjustment. This thing's carrying far.
Yeah, that's a crush. He's inside the circle on this 492-foot hole.
And a forehand flick here by Addison. Finds himself up and just outside the circle indicator, circle 1.
Yeah, I think that was Addison's trusty X1 or H1. It's a prodigy disc. It's a monster. The wind kind of pushed that skip back a little bit, but he's going to have a putt at it.
And with some serious movement on that, Ricky's does not hyzer as hard as he was hoping for. Clearing the water was the objective, but not exactly the way he did it.
Right, he wanted that to probably be about 10 feet higher and a significantly more hyzer angle coming in. I saw him do that same shot in practice, and the wind just really wreaked havoc on his flight path. He's taking his meter. Great comeback putt.
Solid putt and recovery. Eagle McMahon currently sits at 9 under par. If he can eagle this, he will move to 11 under par and secure himself a spot on tomorrow's featured lead card. High and left. He gives himself a somewhat sarcastic applause, knowing that he's let one slip by. He's going to go to 10 under par and find himself likely on the second card. Eagle will tap in, and the rest of the card, somewhat dejected, will move off from the hole.